Hi and welcome everyone. This is Sarah Torres. With me is Sinai Guest. Hi Sinai.
Hey Sarah, how are you?
How are you?
Great.
And today we're gonna talk with Zohara Needham. Hi Zohara, great that you're with us. How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are you?
Great.
Yes, we're great. Yeah. So Zohara, you're a musician, right? Israeli musician. Yeah. Is it accurate to call you like Israeli musician or?
I am an Israeli musician, so yeah, it's accurate. But yeah, somehow I'm feeling more comfortable with Tel Aviv-based musician. I don't know why.
Maybe it's very specific place.
Yeah,
okay.
It's funny. I don't know. Israel has so many meanings these days, you know, and context. And so Tel Aviv is just a fun place, and you don't need to carry all the other meanings. So yeah, but I am an Israeli musician, yeah.
I mean, is it affect your music, the fact that you're from Israel? I mean, is there any like...
Of course.
In what sense?
Oh, of course. In a sense that, you know, a place where you live, the music is just the music that you hear in the street, even though it may be different from the one you hear in your headphones. It's just an influence. And I think in my recent project, which I only released one track at the moment from this project, yeah, I think the music that I hear in the streets and the general Tel Aviv vibe is really now present in my new music.
Do you feel like
I lived in?
Yeah, go ahead. Maybe you want to be more specific, like the name of the street. You're like I don't know, like Herzlian street creator.
I'm on Allenby Street.
Oh, very specific. Okay, very specific.
Literally the toughest, one of the toughest streets in Tel Aviv.
It is. Yeah, actually it is. Yeah, so a lot of vibe there in Allenby, right?
Totally. It's like the roughest and the most dirty and vivid as well. So yeah.
So do you feel like that you're representative something from the Tel Avivian spirit or the Israeli spirit or something like that?
Definitely. The music definitely represents that. It's things that aren't released yet, so I can only tell you, and you can use it or but yeah, many of I also combine like Middle Eastern instruments like darbuka and oud and all these like more oriental instruments to my new music. But you know, all the Eastern music is now really happening in Israel on like the main station radio stations. And I think it's amazing. And I think that when I combine it with like my electronic sound and more like the UK influences that I have very strongly in my music, something really exciting happens and something fairly new, I think. Yeah, I think in Tel Aviv, there's something very loose and very happy. I think we can say it's a happy place, even though we are totally under.
I oppose this notion, but
really?
Anyway, a little bit.
Well, now
I think Israel is a happy place. Don't get me wrong. Israel is a happy place.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv is, happy-ish.
Happy-ish, yeah, maybe. But no, I agree. But it's all like, I think it's all like relative to what else. You know, I lived in London. And I can say that I think people here are much happier.
Sure. Like, in Israel, people are super happy. Yeah.
They're happy.
Even like with no reason. Sometimes they shouldn't be happy and they're happy, right?
Even though we think we want to think that we suffer.
Yeah.
But when you see like real European people, they suffer. We know nothing about suffering. We know how to cause others suffer.
Sarah, do you want to elaborate about this? About the European suffer, maybe?
Not at all, no.
Okay.
So, what do you think, Sarah?
Sarah looked very happy.
I think it's
Sarah
right.
looked very happy.
Sarah does look happy.
Yeah, it is.
You look
Sarah,
very happy.
Very happy. So, would you like to tell us something about your recent project? Maybe something that you can tell us about, like. Tell us about something that you haven't published yet.
Okay.
That's challenging.
Actually, my next single is going to be released through a UK label that I signed to, established by David Wrench, which is an amazing musician and a mix engineer who signed me to his label to release this music, and this is like amazing for me. So funny fact about the next single that I'm going to release. I was going through a breakup, and I decided to let myself the opportunity to deal with the breakup by just giving myself time in the studio. And I told myself, you don't have to come with anything that makes sense. Like, just do whatever makes you feel better. So I created this really avant-garde track. It's avant-garde to me because it's weird. Like, there are so many parts. Some is really like heavy electronic, and then, you know, some sweet oud line is coming in, and everything is very not the way we used to listen to music. I think like it's not organized the way music normally does. And then when David from the label asked to hear all the recent things I've done to decide what's going to be the next single, I was like not quite sure whether I need to add it to the playlist, because I felt almost embarrassed. I didn't know what he's going to think about me. Final decision, I said like, I'm going to put it last track on the list. And he was choosing this one, of course, which was, I was really surprised. I talked to him on the phone after that, and I'm like, this is really weird. Like, you know, people might not get it. And he's like, yeah, but that's good. We need to give people, we need to find the people that are looking for that, you know, because I think that there are so many nowadays, so many popish music. I think alternative music kind of got lost. And I really respected his decision, and I'm really now very excited about this release. I don't know when this is gonna be published, this conversation.
Quite a while since we're, I mean.
Quite a while.
But so anyway,
okay.
but in that point, how do you decide what to publish and what, or it's not your decision in that sense because you're part of the label, so maybe they're like...
Yeah, now we're deciding it together. After this like very unusual track, we're going to release something that I hope will communicate with the mainstream, something more popish. So yeah, and then we might going to start sort of like an album campaign. And I'm nowadays just finalizing the album. So yeah, it's a tough decision to decide which track to put out as a single.
So what's the process? What are you like the you know the dots that, you know, connected to decide which one is going to publish and which one is not?
So now we just decided it with the label. I think it's a tough decision. I'm not quite sure I made the right decisions, by the way. but yeah, now we are just following what David thinks at the moment, and yeah, after that we'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sarah, you want to ask some question from the European side of the discussion? Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Are you in Berlin, Sarah? Sorry, you're the one who asked the question. No, where are you? Where are you?
No,
Zohara,
that's great. That's great. We wanted to
sure.
have it more like a conversation, so it's great. If you have a question,
sure,
just go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm not in Berlin. I'm in Hanover.
Hanover, cool.
What is the first thing you do when you get an idea for a song? Is it
when I get an idea for a song, I think, well, what I'm gonna say about it, because there are so many things I do, you know. Let me think. Well, my process with the computer is that I produce my music and I work with Ableton Live. So I start to just throw ideas to the computer. sometimes it's like such a mess, but for a while I'm just letting myself like not even understand myself what is happening. And I know that I will organize it later. Like now I have the skills to like organize. So I trust myself that I will know how to make the mess into something more, to create a song out of it. But yeah, that's a very important thing that I think I can also recommend other musicians, like not to mind things like how does it sound, or like not to try and just have a flow, you know, and keep the right emotion. That's the hardest thing, I think, like to try and not to lose the thing you felt when you wrote it. And sometimes all the technical issues just, you know, interrupt that. And I learned that. So now I'm just like really trying to use the computer as a notebook, even though computer is something that constantly asks you to make like final decisions in a way, like it wants you to let me know what you exactly want. But I really try to just to not let it be like treat it like that.
And I want to ask, oh yeah, sure, sorry, go ahead.
So sorry, in which way do you use it as a notebook? Like you record a first idea?
Yeah, I record. Sometimes it's just like shitty like MIDI piano thing, and like record vocal lines and just like adding things, even though this one is in 1 BPM and then the other is in another BPM, and just like trying to really mind what's important. And what's important is the melody and the lyrics and the vibe to me. Afterwards, to build the whole track is like, it's amazing. It's like a journey. It's like my favorite part. To write it, it's more comfortable. It's more complicated because it's like now you make the statement, like, and it's very important to be super focused and connected. And then to build the arrangement is a beautiful part of the process, which I love doing.
And mainly you're creating in English, right?
Yeah.
Although you're based in Israel, so sorry to being a little bit like local patriotic, but you know, Tel Aviv, Allenby, yeah. So, so why English? I mean,
it's funny. Yes, you know, you asked me these questions like 10 years ago.
Yeah, because I really love Hebrew. I have to say, Hebrew is an amazing language. I have to say, I really like. I'm a fan of this language. Say again?
It's amazing. Hebrew is an amazing language. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think it has to do something with the way with my identity. I don't know. I never quite like felt that this place can hold the whole identity I have. I don't know how to explain it. But first time I arrived,
Hebrew is like, maybe Hebrew is like limiting you in a way. It's like limited language to express.
It's the easiest thing. It's easy to say that. I think that Israel is limiting me.
Okay, in what sense?
In a sense that it's a small country surrounded by enemies.
Oh, so you sound like a politician there. Okay.
No, but it's true. You know, it's not like we have like borders that we can share, and then it's a small country. And in a small country, when you make like experimental music, or when you make something that is not like the mainstream, I just never wanted it to affect me. You know, I wanted to have the freedom. And I think that knowing that, you know, even though it's one track is a niche, you know, a niche like worldwide can be quite a lot of people, and you can have a career out of it somehow, you know. I didn't want to try and make music to the local station. I felt that it's not right for me. Just
Okay. What are your sources of inspiration? What make you be inspired? Besides Allenby. Or maybe that's the main inspiration.
Yeah. Music, of course. I'm really inspired by new electronic artists, somehow they mainly come from the UK, but when I hear that someone did something interesting sound-wise, it always inspires me, like, to also check the borders, you know, and because I think that our generation, the opportunities that we just like found with recording and processing in computer and cutting things in a different way. I mean, there are so many beautiful things that somehow reminds me even like classical music. I feel like this is kind of a renaissance of an old day of music, yeah, because you know, in the 70s, or like when rock came along, or jazz, we really focused on like guitar and like a trio, because people performed like this and that was the easiest way to record. But now when we have so many synthesizers and it's so available for everyone, the opportunities are exciting. For me as an artist, it really excites me. And another thing that always inspires me is like when I feel like I have a message to say, if like I feel like sometimes when I even see something that is wrong in the society, or when I see some pain that I want to transform into lyrics, it always like sets the fire in me. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Quite impressive. Yeah. So let's go
like
for the
real life, everyday situations, or what you mentioned.
What is it?
Does like real life, your own life, your everyday experiences, does this add up to this, like what you mentioned before as a source of inspiration?
The real life experience, is it an inspiration? Does it add up to it? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Like if I write about my personal life, and you know, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
What
like
question?
the latest song I wrote was after I met my father, and he told me about some difficulties that my grandma is going through and the depression that she's somehow experiencing. And after I met him, I went to the studio and I had this like sort of sadness in me. And yeah, I just finished the track. I started it with like a month ago, and I just wrote something about it. So yeah, obviously.
So it seems that you wait for like muse or something to create, or you create like in a more steady, I would say, you know, like you have like a time, like task that you need to do in music, and then you just, or you really wait for like inspiration or for muse to create things. Do you have like a schedule, like, you know, like a routine?
It happened to be that eventually I'm sitting all day in the studio to make the music, but mostly it's like the afterwards work, you know, the production and arranging the music. But writing, like composing, the music, it needs to be a moment or something that is that lights something in me. I never like tell myself sit down and write a song. Mm-hmm. Like I never do that.
Okay.
Sometimes I've even tell myself, don't write this song because mm-hmm. It's so hard these days. Like when you write a song, you need to me, like, because I do everything, but then you need to produce it and then releasing it, going through all this. It's like, it needs to be worth it.
What question you were not asked and you would like to, and would you like to be asked?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you like R&B?
Why do I like that?
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, but really, do you think that there's a question that for some reason our musicians aren't asked and should be asked? Like important question that maybe are not, you know?
No, I think you've done a pretty good job.
Oh, no, okay, no, but still, I mean, do you think that maybe you would like to ask like other musicians regarding their music? You would like to be interesting about, like, and again, general questions, not like specific. I mean, you know, even specific ones.
Yeah, I think I'm always interested in like how artists sometimes artists like having the breakthrough, you know, in an older age. And up till that point, you need to have a lot of belief, and also to jangle between the life of like earning money and still keeping yourself inspired, which means to me always like reading books and reading poetry and listen to music. And sometimes you just don't have time. So I'm always like interested in like how other musicians does that, you know? How
can you juggle
how
life
can you juggle
and create?
How do you, yeah.
So how can you juggle?
Yeah.
Tell us.
I struggle, like I struggle, and I hope to have like more financial ease. How do you say? So I can so I can really not feel guilty. It's not that I struggle, you know, I maintain, but I worry, you know. It's like I worry about money. I worry what's gonna happen, and it takes a lot of energy out of me. Yeah, I know many decisions. Well, for example, when pandemic started, I was like, shit, like I was DJing, you know, I was performing with Oy Vavoy. I toured with him around Europe, and my income was based on like being outside and with gathering with people. And so I started to go in a process of like working on a high-tech company, something that teaches piano. And I was so close because of the fear of like what's gonna happen, to work like 9 to 5 in a place. Eventually I couldn't do it because I knew that I need to make music. Like it's not gonna work even though I want to. But yes, it's not easy, especially when you're a woman, I have to say. When you have like,
can you specify? Can you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that when I think about like, I need my music to make money at some point, you know. At the moment, it doesn't do it. I hope it will.
And why specifically for a woman it's more difficult, or?
Because we need to make it faster.
You need to make it.
We need to. Yeah, because we have the biological clock, you know, and if you want to build a family and all that, it's not, maybe it's not that, but if you want to do that, you can find a richer husband.
Can you tell us like, maybe like, I don't know, in that sense, like tips for like a starting musician, like if someone want to get to this industry, what should he or him have in mind before that?
I think that there's no like one truth. To me, the fact that I have the skills that I have, it allows me to have more time from the music, because I do earn a lot of money, how do you say, relatively, because I produce sometimes to others, and I have the skill that allows me to have more time to make music. So this is kind of like a recommendation I have. Again, like if you just want to be a singer, or like to be an unskillful musician, and you just want to trust, you know, the path of like perform and hope that your song will get into the radio. But I'm this kind of a musician that I did develop many crafts that nowadays I earn money from, and it gives me the freedom to make the music I want to do, and not something that I do in a hope to earn money one day.
So if I'm summarize it, so it's like to be more versatile in your capabilities, on your like abilities to make money out of music, maybe not directly from music, but maybe from production, or maybe to do some. Okay. Yeah. Actually, that's a great tip for in a general sense, you know, not only for a musician. It's like okay. What would you like to be remembered from your work for another 50 or 100 years?
I hope to create like happy music, you know, and to remember that someone. It's funny because not some of my music is really sad, But the one I'm really proud of are like the really uplifting songs. I think to make people happy is like the highest spiritually place you can achieve.
I wonder if you
And
think
also,
that. Okay, and also, yeah, sure.
and also to be remembered as a composer, a producer. It's not like it's not a common thing. And I think I'm going through many barriers, many barriers. I always like being suspicious. Even when I get work as a producer, sometimes it comes with a lot of like, I feel I'm overjudged. I feel that people doesn't give me work very easily. It's a very manly area. And
still these days it's still like very like dominant by men.
100%, 100%, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, Sarah,
What
go
do you
ahead.
think, Sarah?
Yeah, what do you think, Sarah?
I didn't know. I hoped it would be better, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to say,
I mean, think of how many artists that produce and compose their music do you know that are male opposed to how many female,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But it seems that you make a change in that respect, right? You're creating,
I think
you're
I'm
like
not
producing, you're right.
Yeah, I do it now. Yeah, I do.
By the way, is it connected to the fact that you were working with a band or bands in the past and you moved to like a solo career? Is it connected to this? To the fact that you would like to maybe create like your own path and not be connected to this like.
Yeah, I think that my personality just allows me to sit many hours with the computer alone. I think it's not for everyone. I think it really suits me, and I feel that I'm the most accurate when I'm processing the thing with myself, when I do it every day, and when I'm trying to concentrate. And this is like it's right. Yeah, it's right for me. It always been like that. Like even when I performed with bands, I was the one who was like making the music at home, you know, and creating the. So yeah.
Okay, so I wonder. You said something that you would like to be remembered as someone who created, like, who make people be happy, right? Like creating like uplifting music. Do you think that they like in like 50, 100 years from now, the same music will trigger emotion, the same emotion in humans? I mean, the same. So it's going to be it's going to be happy music. So the happy music of these days is going to be happy music in the future. Surprisingly,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
You know, you disagree.
No, I totally agree with you. I think that music is like, I think from my perspective, I think music is the way that human can be connected to the higher spirits or something, you know, in a way, to the divine, you know. I think that's the closer that you can get to God in a way. From my perspective, sure. I have to say, as a secular man, so I wonder if the same. I mean, you as a creator, is it the same for you? I mean, you create something that is like above like
100%. 100%.
Okay, yeah. That's a great.
And this is something you need to live 24/7. It's like you need to always be in an emotional and spiritual work, so you can have these moments when you're kind of like really connecting to something higher, you know. That's the way I see it. I feel that being an artist is like something that you don't just do when you're in your studio and when you're on stage. It's like you're kind of like committed to this how do I say, to this
like a state of mind, like a state of mind.
A state of mind, yeah. And being vulnerable and being always like open and emotionally very awake, you know, and somehow. Yeah.
Okay, so in that note, I think that we can greet you with a keep creating like great music, Zohara.
Thank you so much.
And thanks a lot for participating in our podcast. And
yes, thank you.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, and Sarah, also thanks a lot for hosting this podcast with me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.